welcome back to Friday Reads, where we help you find your next read. I'm Jill.
And I'm Julie, and we're your very merry librarians today. We are going to feature Christmas books or holiday books new this year. So what's new on the shelves for the holidays if you're just anxious to read that holiday book? Jill, what's your first pick?
So we're giving you enough time to put them on holds, too. So we're not rushing it too much. This is A Winter in New York by Josie Silver. This was published in October 2023. When Iris decides to move to New York to restart her life, she realizes she underestimated how big the Big Apple really is. All the nostalgic movies set in New York she'd watched with her mom while eating their special secret recipe gelato didn't quite do it justice. But Bobby, Iris's best friend, isn't about to let her hide away. He drags her to a famous autumn street fair in Little Italy, and as they walk through the food stalls, a little family-run gelateria catches her eye. Could it be the same shop that's in an old photo of her mother's? Oh. Curious, Iris returns the next day and meets the handsome Gio, who tells her that the shop is in danger of closing. His uncle, sole keeper of their family's gelato recipe, is in a coma, so they can't make more. When Iris samples the last remaining batch, she realizes their gelato and her gelato are one and the same. But how can she tell them she knows their secret recipe when she's not sure why Gio's uncle gave it to her mother in the first place? Iris offers her services as a chef to help them recreate the flavor and finds herself falling for Gio and his family. But when Gio's uncle finally wakes up, all of the secrets Iris has been keeping threaten to ruin the new life and new love she's been building all winter long. So, A Winter in New York.
My first pick is a popular author at our library, and this is Santa and Company by Fern Michaels. This is the second book in the Santa's Cruise series, which began with Santa Cruise. In this book, longtime friends Amy, Frankie, Rachel, and Nina reunite for a holiday singles cruise, and it not only deepens their bond, but it changes their lives. Now they're getting together for another adventure, and what better winter setting than a fabulous ski lodge? Crisp snow and fresh air by day, cozy fires and delicious food by night, capped off by meeting up with their significant others for a New Year's Eve celebration. It's perfect. At least it's perfect until Frankie decides to go snowshoeing alone. When she twists her ankle right after losing her phone in the snow, she wonders how she'll be able to summon help. But she's rescued by a reclusive Grizzly Adams lookalike who lives nearby and introduces himself as Troy Manchester. Troy saves the day by helping the injured Frankie back to the ski lodge, but in the process encounters a part of the LA life he's tried to leave behind. Nina, visiting the gift shop to buy magazines for a recuperating Frankie, is similarly shocked to glimpse someone to whom she was once connected. So even in this unlikely spot, it seems there's no way to avoid their pasts, and as the mischievous Rachel and her sidekick Amy go to great lengths to patch up old friendships and spread the spirit of the season, the new year may contain all kinds of new beginnings. Just love the themes of the Christmas books. So, Santa and Company by Fern Michaels.
My next one is The Christmas Orphans Club by Becca Freeman. This was published in September of this year. From bookfluencer to host of the Bad on Paper podcast, a riotous holiday rom-com about four friends in New York City who hold on to their unconventional Christmas tradition even when their paths diverge. But the changes they fear might be exactly what they need. Hannah and Finn have spent every Christmas together since college. Neither has anywhere else to go. Hannah's parents died, and Finn's disowned him when he came out. Their tradition of offbeat holiday adventures only grows more outrageous with time. When the pair starts their adult lives in New York City, they add stylish Priya and mysterious Theo to the group, solidifying a found family and a sense of belonging they've always craved. But now when Finn announces a move to L.A., this Christmas might be their last. Hannah is terrified of losing the family she's built for herself, even as her boyfriend nudges her towards commitment. Meanwhile, Finn struggles with the things he's about to leave behind, namely his unexpressed feelings for Theo. Does growing up mean growing apart? This Christmas, the changes these friends fear may be exactly what they need. Christmas Orphans Club. Kind of friends-lish.
My next pick is Love, Holly by Emily Stone. A young woman tries to heal a rift in her elderly pen pal's family in time for Christmas, all while falling in love, and maybe even reuniting with her own family in this dazzling romance from the author of Always in December and One Last Gift. Sometimes it takes a stranger to bring you back to yourself. Ever since a car accident tore her family apart, Holly has been part of a Lonely Hearts holiday letter writing club. Each December, she writes to a stranger who is also spending the holidays alone and receives a letter from another lonely person in return. Usually, the letters go unanswered. That's the point. The letters are anonymous, and the senders write whatever is in their heart. But this year, the letter Holly receives is different. Not only is the letter full of grief she knows all too well, but its writer Emma mentions a place that Holly has visited. When she realizes that she might actually be able to find the letter's author, Holly becomes determined to reunite Emma with the estranged grandson Jack, with whom Emma is absolutely desperate to reconnect. When Holly finally tracks him down, she remembers that she's met Jack once before, and the connection was electric. The spark between the two of them is still there until a misunderstanding risks this budding romance and his strained relationship with Emma, too. But Holly's determined if she can fix Emma's family, she might also be able to fix her own. Though as it turns out, she may have less time to put things right than she thought. So read Love, Holly to see how this all turns out. This one sounded like an interesting one to me.
Yeah. Her other ones sound like they're classics too, like even though they're very new. Okay. Beth O'Leary, The Wake-Up Call. Two hotel receptionists and arch rivals find a collection of old wedding rings and compete to return them to their owners, discovering their own love story along the way. It's the busiest season of the year, and Forest Manor Hotel is quite literally falling apart. So when Izzy and Lucas are given the same shift on the hotel's front desk, they have no choice to put their differences aside and see it through. The hotel won't stay afloat beyond Christmas without some sort of miracle, but when Izzy returns a guest's lost wedding ring, the reward convinces management that this might be the way to fix everything. With 4 rings still sitting in the lost and found, the race is on for Izzy and Lucas to save their beloved hotel and their jobs. As their bitter rivalry turns into something much more complicated, Izzy and Lucas begin to wonder if there's more at stake here than the hotel's future. Can the two of them make it through the season with their hearts intact? The Wake-Up Call.
My third pick takes a darker turn. If you want a thriller during the holidays, this is Lisa Unger's Christmas Presents. I just listened to this and I gave it 3 stars. I kind of figured out who the murderer was and stuff pretty early on, but Christmas Presents. Instead of presents this Christmas, a true crime podcaster is opening up a cold case. Madeline Martin has built a life for herself as the young owner of a thriving business, the Next Chapter Bookshop, despite her tragic childhood and now needing to care for her infirm father. When Harley Granger, a failed novelist turned true crime podcaster, drifts into her store in a few days before Christmas, he seems intent on digging up events that Madeline would much rather forget. She's the only surviving victim of Evan Handy, the man who was convicted of murdering her best friend Steph and is suspected in the disappearance of 2 sisters, also good friends of Madeline's, who have been missing for nearly a decade. It's an investigation that has obsessed her father, Sheriff James Martin, right up until his stroke took away his faculties. Harley Granger has a gift for seeing things that others miss. He wasn't much of a novelist, but his work as a true crime author and podcaster has earned him fame and wealth, and some serious criticism for his various unethical practices. Still, visiting Little Valley to be close to his dying father has caused him to look into a case that many people think is closed, and some want reopened. And he has a lot of questions about the night Stephanie Kramer was killed, Ainsley and Sam disappeared, and Madeline Martin was left for dead, bleeding out on a riverbank. Since Evan Handy went to jail, 3 other young women have gone missing, most recently a young college dropout named Lolly. 5 young women missing in the same area in a decade. Are they connected? Was Evan Handy innocent after all, since he's in jail and other girls have gone missing? Or was there something else there that night? Someone, perhaps, who is still satisfying his dark appetite. So as Christmas approaches and a blizzard bears down, Madeline and her childhood friend Badger return to a past they both hoped was dead, to find the missing Lolly and to answer questions that had haunted them both, discovering that the truth is more terrible and much closer to home than they think. So if you want a thriller during the holidays...
Nothing like a Christmas thriller.
Check out Christmas Presents by Lisa Unger.
That's a little different.
It was kind of dark.
It's kind of fun.
If you want abduction and murder...
You don't always need love at Christmas. You can have those things too. This is one of our authors. I think she has a Christmas book every year, and I think this is this year's book, Christmas at the Shelter Inn. Come home to Shelter Springs this Christmas, where hearts are warm and hopes are bright. Growing up at the Shelter Inn Hotel, Natalie Shepard envied guests who would come and go as they pleased. So when it was time to truly leave for college and put the lush green mountains around Shelter Springs, along with the cloud of loss that seemed to follow her family behind her, she swore she'd never come back. But now her sister McKenna needs a favor. On pregnancy bed rest at the doctor's order, McKenna needs a helping hand with her 2 young daughters and someone to take over the inn during the hectic holiday season, and Nat can't refuse. And just when things can't get worse, she runs into her late brother's best friend, Griffin Taylor. Oh. Griff has mixed feelings about Natalie's return. She's just as beautiful and full of life as he remembered. But there's a secret he's carried for years about her brother, and the guilt is eating away at him. Still, Christmas in this small town is filled with treasured traditions and new adventure that hold the promise of something sweet and lasting. From matchmaking seniors to rambunctious nieces, it seems everyone is hoping Nat and Griff will put lost behind them and find a happy new beginning. So, there you go, by Rianne Thane. Christmas at the Shelter Inn.
My next pick is also a popular author here, Jenny Colgan, and this is Midnight at the Christmas Bookshop. And the Times in the UK said this was literary hot chocolate with a bourbon shot. It's hot, sweet, but with a surprising emotional kick. So, Christmas comes early, far too early, to Macready's little old town bookshop in Edinburgh. It's summer, but an American production company has decided that Macready's is the perfect location to film a very cheesy holiday movie. After all, who can resist the charmingly narrow historic street with its Victorian gray stone buildings and warmly lit shop windows? Carmen Hogan, the bookshop's manager, is amused and a bit horrified by the goings-on, but the money the studio is paying is just too good to pass up. She uses the little windfall from filming to create new displays and fend off a buyout offer from an obnoxious millionaire who wants to turn Macready's into a souvenir shop rather than a bookshop, selling kits made in China and plastic Nessies. Still reeling slightly from a breakup, Carmen's not particularly looking forward to the holidays, but just as snow begins to fall and the lights of Christmas blink on, all sorts of lovely new possibilities present themselves for Macready's bookstore and for Carmen herself. So, Midnight at the Christmas Bookshop. So I think this is the sequel to her book from last year, The Christmas Bookshop.
I think so. I think she has a few Christmas books,
Yeah,
too.
she does.
And all involving that bookshop, which is so Christmassy to me and fun. Okay, I have another one that'll, spine-tingling chiller here for Christmas. This is a novella, so if you don't have a lot of time to read a Christmas book, there you got this one. The Christmas Guest by Peter Swanson, published in September of this year. New York Times best-selling author Peter Swanson pens a spectacular, spine-chilling novella in which an American art student in London is invited to join a classmate for the holidays at Starwood Hall, her family's Cotswold Manor house. But behind the holly and pine boughs, secrets are about to unravel, revealing this seemingly charming English village's grim history. Ashley Smith, an American art student in London for her junior year, was planning on spending Christmas alone, but a last-minute invitation from fellow student Emma Chapman brings her to Starwood Hall, country residence of the Chapman family. The Cotswold Manor house, festooned in pine boughs and crammed with guests for Christmas week, is a dream come true for Ashley. She is mesmerized by the cozy firelit house, the large family, and the charming village of Clivemore, but also by Adam Chapman, Emma's aloof and handsome brother. But Adam is being investigated by local police over the recent brutal slaying of a girl from the village, and there's a mysterious stranger who haunts the woodland path between Starwood Hall and the local pub. Ashley begins to wonder what kind of story she's actually inhabiting. Is she in a grand romance, a gothic tale, or has she wandered into something far more sinister and terrifying than she ever imagined? Over 30 years later, the events of that horrific week are revisited, along with a diary from that time. What began in a small English village in 1989 reaches its ghostly conclusion in modern-day New York, many Christmas seasons later. And it's got New York in it. I think New York is just Christmas.
I was going to say, you've got a couple picks with New York. And my last pick is Jenny Bayless's A December to Remember, and really nobody does holiday books like Jenny Bayless. She does 12 Dates of Christmas and Meet Me Under the Mistletoe, so this is her new one, A December to Remember. 3 bickering half-sisters, 1 unique antique shop, the coziest holiday season of their lives. Wildly different half-sisters Maggie, Simone, and Star have hardly seen one another since their sprightly summers at Rowanthorpe, their eccentric father Augustus's home. Known for his bustling approach to the knick-knack shop he ran, Augustus was loved by all and known by none, not even his daughters. Now, years later, the three estranged women are called upon for the reading of his will, and they quickly realize he's orchestrated a series of hoops through which they must jump to unlock their inheritance. The last thing any of them want to do. But Maggie and Star desperately need the money, and who would Simone be to resist? Through hilarious goose chases, small-town mishaps, and one heartwarming winter solstice celebration, love is in the air, if only the three sisters can let themselves grasp it. So, another holiday book from Jenny Bayliss.
Well, we hope we helped you find some new holiday books to read this Christmas if you're in the mood.
Gonna have to probably put these on hold in the InfoSoup catalog. Most of the ones that we got in this week will not be in our display for our Friday Reads picks because a lot of people are already jumping on the bandwagon of reading holiday picks. Thank you for watching our videos. You know you can find us on our Facebook page and on our Kimberly website. Next week we'll take a break because we'll be closed for Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving and safe hunting to the hunters out there. And thank you for watching.
Bye.